Is there a part of you that feel that Tottenham should have tried to have a bit more effort on getting the win? Because
It's Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Cass.
No, I mean at the end, because I just said...
We had a great chance at the end.
Yes, I know.
He headed it back across the 6-yard box. I don't know what he was doing, but no, I thought he was excellent.
I'm not going to disagree with the way that Tottenham set out the game, but by the end of the game, I felt they looked very dangerous on the counter. Yeah. That maybe the 3 points, because obviously if you expect Arsenal to win, which most people did against Leeds.
Cass, we ain't thrown away the top 4 because we've drawn against Liverpool. We've thrown it away because of the games we lost against Brighton and Brentford and the games earlier on in the season.
Brighton done that to you.
You go away to Anfield and you get a result. It's unbelievable.
It's difficult to beat Brighton these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Arsenal haven't managed to. Manchester United haven't managed to.
Brighton did that to Spurs and Arsenal. They defended brilliantly, and they got the rewards.
Yeah, it will make it. Look, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't want to be the one that sits here and says I think Arsenal are going to do it. They're obviously in a better position, but they've still got to go to your ground. That's going to be a massive game on Thursday.
What are we talking about here? We're talking Man City. We're talking Klopp. We're talking Arsenal. Come on, what are we doing?
Do you want to change the subject?
Let's change the subject. We'll come back to Spurs.
Are you nervous? A little bit nervous.
I will turn my phone off if Arsenal finish above us. How are Arsenal above us? Like, seriously.
How are you going to work with me for the rest of the year?
I don't know.
If Arsenal finish
it's a struggle anyway.
Wow, you love it.
More
you're
points?
my favourite co-host.
I've killed me there.
I have to mute him. Okay, let's talk about the bias then. Let's move on because Pep Guardiola's brought it up. Tony Cascarino said earlier on, well, you know what? There's a lot of ex-Liverpool players in the media. Maybe there is a slight bias. What do you think?
I wouldn't say there's a massive bias. I think that the issue you've got is the people that work in the media are legends of the game. And let's be honest, Man City haven't had too many legends, because they haven't got the history that Manchester United have had and Liverpool have had. So, you talk about the big people that are in the media, it's because they've done things in the game. Liverpool are a huge, huge football club. I was there at the weekend and it just feels massive when you're there. I don't get that feeling when I'm at Manchester City, even though in recent times they have been brilliant and they've got a world-class manager. But it takes longer than 10 years of having a billionaire owner to have that kind of huge feeling of a club. And I just think Liverpool have got that. I think that's just where the issue is. Yeah, you can't get away from it that Liverpool are the biggest club in Liverpool and Manchester City aren't the biggest club in Manchester. It's simple as that.
Do you think, who would you prefer to win the league? As a Spurs fan.
I don't care.
Yeah, because that's how I feel, actually. I don't mind.
There is an element, what Laura, you said earlier. I mean, look, the budget what City have spent, and it has been a vast amount of money. Look, they produced a fantastic team, so fair play to them. Where Liverpool haven't done that. The Liverpool have spent 35 and 40s. Yes, they went Van Dijk, 75 million and Alisson, but in general, they're not going as big.
No, but their recruitment, they've still spent money. Their recruitment's just been bang on, and they've got it right. I think Manchester City have spent a lot of money, but they've made a few poor signings as well. But I think Liverpool's recruitment has just been excellent, so they haven't had to really, when they've bought a player, it's been in that position. They haven't had to go and buy again and buy another one because the player that they bought first was the right one. I think Manchester City have spent 400 million on trying to find decent centre-halves, and finally they've kind of got that, but they've had to spend to find it. But yeah, I mean, look, their billionaire owner has spent money, and people are going to kind of frown upon that a little bit, don't they? Liverpool, you would say, have done it the way that everyone wants to see it be done. Net spend, not as much. Bring in great players. They play exciting football. Come on, we can't get away. Liverpool are a huge football club. They're a massive football club.
Do you think City are always going to suffer with that tag of having rich owners and buying the league, essentially? Do you think that's what people are judging them on?
We just don't have the history. And that's no different.
What about in 10 years' time or 20 years' time? Will we let them have that history?
Well, they keep growing as a club. They will have that history. If they keep being successful,
they'll never be Liverpool.
No, not at the moment. They won't. They
won't be Liverpool in 100 years.
I remember what Chelsea were in the 90s, a club that was struggling mid-table, and I can remember sitting next to a chairman who said, one day this club can be the biggest club in London. Now, that was debatable for a long time. But if you talk about success and what they've done over the last 2 decades, Chelsea have grown enormously.
Are they the biggest club in London?
Well, they weren't even in the conversation.
They're the richest club in London.
Well,
Arsenal are the biggest club in London.
But you're saying Arsenal are the biggest club in London
Well, they
now?
are. Well, globally, they are.
I would disagree with
They
that.
are, right? Am I wrong in saying that?
Arsenal, the biggest club in London.
Globally, worldwide.
Yeah.
So do you think Chelsea would go? Do you think Arsenal would go for over $4.25 billion?
Yeah.
We do. Okay.
Yeah.
What are they probably worth? I haven't checked for a long time, but I feel like the last time
Here's
it was
what
like
they're
2
worth.
billion or
Does
something
that make you
like
the biggest club?
No, but it shows the growth of Chelsea and the infrastructure at the football club that someone spent that vast amount of money. The success that they've had over the last 2 decades, Tottenham and Arsenal can't even light a candle to. You can tell Arsenal because of Wenger's but you take the last sort of 7-8 years.
But it's
it's growing. Chelsea's grown enormously.
Chelsea and Arsenal was a similar comparison in a way to Liverpool and Manchester City, because you can criticise Chelsea in the same way that you criticise Liverpool for having a billionaire owner coming in and putting money into the club, versus a team like Arsenal and Liverpool, who, until very recently, with Liverpool in mind, had all their success back in the day. And that's the same with Arsenal. And then a period of time where they weren't really succeeding or weren't winning many trophies. Liverpool obviously are coming back around. I don't know. Maybe there is a bias, but I suppose the problem with saying there's a media bias is assuming that we're all on the same side. Like me, you, Tony. Well, your name's not
Tony.
Sorry. Your name is Jamie. But also every journalist that writes in the media, and saying that every presenter has a media bias. Like, we all get together and go, who should we support this season? It just doesn't really work like that. It's still very much personal preference. You try and tell a journalist what to write, they're very much, they will decide what to write, and they'll very much decide on their own opinions. I don't know if it's as deep as that. It might genuinely just be the fact that what we say is look, people are still going to judge Manchester City by having massively rich owners and coming in and suddenly getting all their success. But
I think what we've got to do as well is appreciate what they're doing as well right now. I think Manchester City have been unbelievable. Guardiola, the way the philosophy that he has, the mentality of the team and the style of football, it's breathtaking to watch. And their season's determined on whether they win the Champions League or not. They had a crazy 5-minute spell against Real Madrid where they fell apart, and that determines their whole season. And I think that's unfair, because they won 12 Champions League games. They're going to be the best team over 38 games in the Premier League. They've been unbelievable this season. They're going to win the Premier League title. I think we have to just give them some credit as well and appreciate how good they are.
But I think we do, Jamie. I don't remember a day goes by that we don't say, wow, the football Manchester City are playing.
I haven't heard too many say that City are poor or bad. You can't. It's
digging them out, though, for losing the Champions League against Real Madrid, which is fair enough.
But that happens, Jamie,
the whole season.
Jamie, that happened to PSG. They got the same criticism in France, in l'Équipe. They got hammered because they went out to Real Madrid.
To win. It's easy to win the Premier League there for them. To win the Liga.
Yeah.
For them, it has to be won. But to do it here, when you've got Liverpool, and Chelsea as well, it's an unbelievable achievement what they've done.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.